Good evening. Welcome to the Cape Charles Town Council regular meeting, May the 16th, 2019. Can we get a roll call?
Holloway present.
Bennett present.
And present.
Rosen present.
Birch present.
Let it be known we've established a quorum. Everybody rise for a moment of silence and pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Recognition of visitors, presentations. Cape Charles Rosenwald School Restoration Initiative, Ted Griffin.
Ms. Griffin emailed me the other day and said that she was unable to make it this month, had some issues at home, and she would be moved her to the June 20th.
Okay. National Safe Boating Week Proclamation. Stand by 1 through 100 for 16 pages.
Use your thumbnail.
Go to Outlook.
Yeah.
Outline will jump from agenda item to agenda item.
He's not listening.
All right. Proclamation 2019-0516, proclaiming May the 18th through May the 24th, 2019 is National Safe Boating Week. For nearly 100 million Americans, boating continues to be a popular recreational activity from coast to coast and everywhere between. People are taken to the water, enjoying time together, boating, sailing, paddling, and fishing. During National Safe Boating Week, the United States Coast Guard and its federal, state, and local safe boating partners encourage all boaters to explore and enjoy America's beautiful waters responsibly. Safe boating begins with preparation. The Coast Guard estimates that human error accounts for 70% of all boating accidents, and that life jackets could prevent nearly 85% of all boating fatalities. Through basic boating safety procedures, carrying life-saving emergency distress and communication equipment, wearing life jackets, attending safe boating courses, participating in free boat safety checks, and staying sober when navigating, we can ensure boaters on America's coastal, inland, and offshore waters stay safe throughout the season. National Safe Boating Week is observed to bring attention to the important life-saving tips for recreational boaters so that they can have a safer, more fun experience out on the water throughout the year. Can I get a motion to adopt May 18th through May the 24th, 2019 as the National Safe Boating Week?
So moved. Second.
I move for adoption of Proclamation 2019-0516, proclaiming May the 18th and May the 24th, 2019 as National Safe Boating Week. As noticed, and forego the reading of the resolution. Roll call vote.
Buckles, yes.
Holloway, yes.
Bennett, yes.
Yes.
Rosen, yes.
Birch, yes.
We have adopted National Safe Boating Week. Thank you. Proclamation 2019-0516A, National Public Works Week, which is May the 19th through the 25th. 2019. It starts here. Can I get a motion to adopt May 19th through May the 25th, 2019 as National Public Works Week?
So moved.
Second.
I move for the adoption of Proclamation 2019-0516A for National Public Works Week, May the 19th through the 25th, 2019, as noticed, and forgo the reading of the resolution. May I get a roll call vote?
Buckles, yes.
Holloway, yes.
Benton, yes.
Benton, yes.
Grossman, yes.
Rhodes, yes.
Let it be known that we've adopted National Public Works Week, May the 19th through the 25th. Public comments.
You're first.
Good evening. I'm Bishop Jim Davis, Cape Charles, Virginia, 533 Mason Avenue. I want to offer you a suggestion for your suggestion box, some space for our youth with some skateboard space and some basketball space. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bishop Davis.
Ryan Martin?
Ryan Martin at 206 Jefferson Avenue in Cape Charles. On March 24th, I had an altercation with a county resident by the name of Senator Mayor. I was walking my dog on a
Can
shoulder.
you speak into the mic, please?
Yes, sir. So I had an altercation with Senator Mayor while walking my dog on Strawberry Street. During that altercation, Ms. Mayor kicked my dog. Following day, swore warrant against her for animal cruelty, and she filed a cross warrant against myself for having a dog at large. Today, we were both found guilty of those charges. The Northampton County judge stated that while my dog had undergone extensive obedience training and we use an electronic training collar, that is not enough to justify an exception to the leash law in Cape Charles. The Cape Charles leash law is written so that any animal must be under control of their owner or custodian at all times. Ms. Mayor testified in open court today that she provides the medical care, food, and shelter for all of these cats on the property of Mr. Pete Bowden here in Cape Charles. Those cats are not under her control at all times. I would ask that the town of Cape Charles have the Northampton County Animal Control Officer enforce these laws equally across the board to both dog owners and cat owners as the Cape Charles Town Code is written. That's all I have.
Thank you very much.
Terry Strew?
Good evening. My name is Terry Sturb and I live at 522B Washington Avenue. I would like to begin by commenting and commending the citizens of Central Park and the town public works for their superb job they do in improving and maintaining our park. I have a concern about three problems which appear to emanate from the same cause, namely the presence of older youth in the children's playground who are too old for the playground equipment for which that was designed, and it is now deteriorating because of their use. The problems are damage to the playground equipment, improper language, and litter. As a result, the children are unable to use some of the equipment. Some of the swings have been hung up so high that only an adult could swing on them. The children from the Christian school have not been allowed in the park because of the presence of foul language. And they spend their time cleaning up the litter because they can't find on the equipment. All of these things could rapidly escalate. And hundreds of our citizens have contributed to the park and the playground. And I would really like to request that anyone who observes that type of activity report it to a member of the town staff. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Mike Strip?
Eagle City, council members. My name is Michael Strube. I live at 522B Washington Avenue. And I wish to thank the many right-smart, paid and unpaid residents of our town who are working so hard with gusto and grit, compromise and consensus to ensure that our town is responsive to the economic growth opportunities while maintaining its unique charm. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Diane Bianca?
I'm Diane D'Amico. I live at 602 Jefferson Avenue. I'd like to speak tonight about the lawn mowing practices in our town. It appears that everyone, just about everyone, mows with the chute going out into the street. This is unsightly. It also collects in our gutters, and then it goes into our storm sewers and then into the bay. It's an easy fix. Turn around. If you turn around, we would shoot the grass onto the grass, and we would have no more problem. I would like to see the council send a letter, maybe in the bill, the water bill, advising all property owners that this is going to be enforced, that there will be a penalty, whatever you set, and that we don't have this problem anymore. Thank you.
Thank you.
She's the last one that has signed up, but I did receive an email requesting to be read in the record. This is from Karen Jolly Davis, and says, to the town council, for many years, Sandy Mayer has worked diligently to limit the town's feral cat population and prevent diseases that could spread among them. We have a small number of healthy feral cats compared to places like Sheridan, where the cat population is exploding and feline HIV is rampant. Sandy traps the local cats and neuters them at her own expense. In the process, she becomes attached to them. Lately, some new residents have harassed Sandy for her completely harmless habit of feeding them. If those newbies have their way, the partially domesticated, neutered cats will be caught and killed. But the truly feral cats will not be caught because no one will have the patient dedication that Sandy has to trap and neuter them. As a result, rather than eliminating feral cats, the population will grow exponentially. I have lived in Cape Charles for 22 years and have never had any problems with feral cats. Many have lived in my garden or under my shed, and the only thing they do is keep the mice out of my house. What will Cape Charles do to keep rodents from overtaking our town once the cats are gone? And how will the cat killers differentiate between feral cats and wandering pets? But the truly hurtful thing is the way certain people have treated Sandy Mayer. This woman has served our community faithfully for many years, neutering the feral cats at her own expense and preventing them from breeding. Instead, she has been treated like some kind of criminal. The town's lack of compassion for this woman and the attacks by new residents are outrageous. I hope Cape Charles is not becoming a place where the lives of longtime citizens can be destroyed by newbies who care more about their precious things than about our people. Sandy is a kind and dedicated woman who does wonderful things for our community. Let her feed the cats.
Thank you, Lady. Consent agenda. Approval of the agenda format, approval of the minutes, approval of March 31st, 2019 financial report, monthly department reports, appointment of planning commission representative to the historic district review board, appointment to the historic district review board. Can I get a motion to do we have a motion? Okay. Approve the consent agenda. Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Unfinished business. BPA grant award update.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, this is an update as of this afternoon. We weren't exactly sure what the date would be that the Virginia Port Authority would make a determination on the grant applications. We knew it would be around this time, so we put it on the agenda. There was nothing in the packet, but there is a staff report dated today that is in the record. And for the benefit of folks in the audience who may have downloaded the packet but don't have this staff report, if it pleasure of the mayor and council, I'll read it into the record.
Yes.
This is an agenda titled Virginia Port Authority Grant Award Update. The subject is the provide update on aid to local ports, the ALP grant request. This is the background. The recent wave modeling study recommended building offshore breakwater number 4 north of the existing 3 and an inshore breakwater as the most cost-effective solution to combating the long period waves from the northwest in the winter and southwest in the summer. These waves cause considerable damage to the harbor infrastructure, particularly the floating docks, and create unsafe conditions for vessels and personnel. Consequently, the town requested that VPA approve 1, a carryover of $100,000 previously awarded to aids to local ports, grant funding for the offshore breakwater now under construction, and 2, a new ALP grant in the amount of $375,000 for a $500,000 project to build an inshore fixed breakwater to replace the ineffective floating wave attenuator at the floating docks. The discussion. The VPA board will vote on a resolution approving ALP grant authorization at their May 21, 2019 meeting. The VPA posted the agenda information on their website this morning. The recommended resolution would approve a $100,000 carryover request and provide $251,400 of new grant funding for the inshore breakwater. The $375,000 request for the inshore breakwater was for the maximum authorization allowable for the Aids to Local Port Grant Program, that is 75%. Council has included the $125,000 match in the draft fiscal 2020 budget, fiscal year 2020 budget. The $251,400 grant award would provide slightly more than 50% of the project estimate. There are 2 alternates to consider. There are 2 alternatives to construct the inshore breakwater in a timely manner. First, council could approve the remaining funding match, approximately another $125,000. Second, we could work with Langley and McDonald to structure the project plans and bid package to break out certain components of the work as bid alternates. This might allow accomplishment of the most important component of the project, the fixed sheet pile breakwater, first, followed by other components at a later date. For example, reinstallation of the existing floating wave attenuator on the north side might be accomplished by town personnel or could await additional grant funding, such as the floating infrastructure grant. This is recommended, the recommendation here is for discussion purposes only at this time.
Thank you, Larry. Zoning ordinance text amendments, specifically Historic Review Board, Councilman Grossman.
All right, so for the Historic District Review Board, we have been talking over the past 4 or 5 months with regards to expanding that board. And all I was trying to do through this particular effort was get it on our agenda with our intention of making a motion to support passing this off to the Planning Commission in order to make that change in the ordinance space. So that's as simple as what I was trying to attempt through this effort.
So, you want to motion?
Well, I can make a motion, you know. I make a motion that the Historic Review Board should be expanded to 7 members, with quorum needed of 4. 7 members must be citizens, 4 members must be residents of the Historic District, and 1 member must be from Town Council. And the recommendation is for Town Council to adopt the proposed changes and forward this to Planning Commission for incorporation into bylaws.
Second. Discussion.
Councilman, would the council members representative term be concurrent with their term on council?
Yes, that's a good one.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Councilman Grossman. Time manager comments. Bill, I'm sorry, I've skipped your business. Tell you what, I promise I have nowhere to go.
20 minutes, that's a record.
New business, code 42-3, adoption of state law.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, this is done on an annual basis to adopt into the town ordinance the changes to the Code of Virginia as they relate to law enforcement.
Can I get a motion?
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept this ordinance.
Discussion?
Yeah, it's a little odd that it's just these three very particular issues. Is there anything else that we need to deal with coming out of session?
Probably not. Every year we adopt changes to the streets and highways.
The criminal code usually and traffic. I'm
Okay.
not even sure why we do that, to be honest with you. I've wondered it myself, some communities.
Just very odd about, I looked up these particular issues and it's, juvenile court and motor vehicles and, it's jumping all around, just, if this is standard practice, that's fine.
Welcome to Virginia.
It is.
Okay. All right.
I have a motion, any more discussion? You have a motion, have a second? All in favor?
It
Opposed?
has to be roll call vote because it's an ordinance.
Roll call vote.
Buckles, yes.
Conlon, yes.
Vote yes.
Grossman, yes.
Burge, yes.
Thank you very much. June Town Council regular meeting location.
Well, Mr. Mayor, members of council, this building is scheduled for some repairs. That was in the approved fiscal year budget. The repairs interior were pending, the repairs exterior, or say the roof repair. Roof repair was done about a month ago, so now it's time to work on the inside of the building. Most noticeably, those repairs will be the repairs to the floor, resanding the floor and resurfacing the floor. So that is anticipated to take about a week. We have confirmation from the vendor. We put out the public bid. We had one responsible submittal. So that vendor can do this job in this fiscal year, the week of June 17th. And a council meeting is scheduled for June 20th. So this is a relocation of the meeting on June 20th from this building to the fire station.
Motion pass resolution 2019-0516.
Second.
Resolution 2019-0516, changing the location of the June 20th, 2019 Cape Charles Town Council regular meeting. Whereas the Cape Charles Town Council regular meetings are currently held on the third Thursdays of each month in the Cape Charles Civic Center, and whereas work on the floor of the Civic Center is being performed the week of June 17th, 2019, and the Civic Center will be unavailable for the June 20th, 2019 Town Council regular meeting. And whereas arrangements have been made with the Cape Charles Volunteer Fire Company to hold the June Town Council regular meeting in the firehouse. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Town Council in the town of Cape Charles, Virginia, that the June 20th, 2019 Town Council regular meeting will be held in Cape Charles Volunteer Fire Company located at 501 Mason Avenue in Cape Charles. Can I get a roll call?
Buckles, yes.
Holloway, yes.
Vote yes.
Shannon, yes.
Grossman, yes.
Burge, yes.
That's in the bay. Fire bay.
Yeah, in the bay. It's in the bay. Okay, now, town manager's comments.
Mayor, I actually have a few comments this month, mostly by way of update. Yesterday morning, the town received a sealed survey plan showing the proposed new parking plan on Mason Avenue. This document is an essential part of the VDOT, the application of VDOT. I forwarded an electronic version to the engineer for their review prior to their preparing a cost estimate, which is another essential document for the VDOT application. So we've got that far. The review and decision rests with VDOT, Traffic Engineering Division. In the interim, it was actually just yesterday, Mr. Dale Pusey from the Accomack office was in town to see about another matter. So we came into the office and we had, along with the town planner Zach Pons, we had a quick look at the 4-page survey plat, which showed, and I'll post that online, which shows the parking pattern as well as the signage. We have to show what the signage looks like as part of the application process. So Mr. Pusey had a few questions. It's not their decision, it's the traffic engineering, but Mr. Pusey in the Accomack office approves permits for land use, so he's a good sort of indicator of what sort of questions VDOT may have. He did raise a few questions which can be answered, and staff will address those in the application narrative. Most of these questions have to do with the roadway between Nectarine and Fig, which is not the downtown area. So that's got nothing to do with the back and angle parking. Those questions have more to do with the grade of the existing non-conforming VDOT curb cuts that are there, many of which are curb cuts to nowhere, and some of which are not even no one in their right mind to try to drive up on anyway. They no longer meet the current VDOT standard. So there were some questions about that which we'll address in the narrative. Otherwise, there was a pretty reasonably relatively confident, or cautiously optimistic, as we moved that application forward to have the pull-in angle parking rather than the back-end angle parking in the central business district. Should that application be denied, though, the surveyor is well aware that the town's next pursuit will be parallel parking in the central business district. And again, that'll have to go to a survey plat that needs to be drawn as well, cost estimate performed by a professional engineer in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We hope we don't have to get there, but if we have to go forward with parallel parking, that'll be the next step.
That also has to be approved by VDOT.
Correct. Correct. And parallel parking is what existed before the back end, so it's a return to where we were. 4 years ago. Correct. I don't have the count in front of me, but the proposed pull-in angle parking also loses some space as well.
Different angle.
Right, different angle, and we're accounting for a couple more handicap spaces. So a couple more handicap spaces will also require the loss of adjacent space. So that's where we are with the back end angle parking situation downtown. Some budget numbers. Treasurer generated the year-to-date, which this morning, at exactly 10/16/39, if anyone's interested. It's 48 pages, so I'm happy to share that as well if anyone's interested. You can see every line item, revenue and expenditure. On this nice night, I'd like to just talk some of the good side, which is some of our revenue numbers. 3 specific. Depot. The business licenses, we budgeted $150,000. As of year-to-date today, we've received $123,464, or 82%. The transit occupancy tax, we budgeted $145,000. Year-to-date, we've received $121,459, or 84%. And on the meals tax side, keeping in mind a lot of our restaurants are closed for the winter, but others were open. And we still have Memorial Day and all of June ahead of us. This fiscal year, we budgeted $500,000 for meals tax, and to date, we've collected $372,097, or 74%. So some of our big line revenues are performing well to this point in time.
That's typically a month behind, so like June's numbers, we won't get those until July, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so.
And then the last thing is town staff's been keeping an eye on the short-term seasonal and vacation rental compliance, and that's across the board on a lot of things, business licenses, inspections, compliance with the approved number of occupants, and we've been doing some double checking between between the building department, treasurer's office. I chip in every once in a while as well, just to make sure that what's being advertised by people for their seasonal rental are people who obtain a business license, pass an inspection, and are advertising the appropriate number of people that the building official has approved. There's no point in the world you can approve for 18 people when you've been approved for 14. So, these are just some things we want to get ahead of to ensure that everybody has as safe as possible an experience while they're renting here at Cape Charles. Those are my comments this morning.
Thank you very much, sir. Mayor, any council comments? I'm going to reserve mine for last. Councilman Birch.
I get to go first?
Yeah, you do. I know, I thought.
I like to get ideas from you guys.
Thank you. I was looking forward to the Roosevelt School presentation, and I hope that Tavia will be here to see how things are going with that. It's very much. I have 2 or 3 things that I'd like to mention this evening. First of all, with regard to the grass cutting in the street, that is a problem. And we do have an ordinance on that, 46-17, and it has a civil penalty in it, $50 for the first offense and $200 for subsequent offenses. So I would encourage our staff to use the ordinances we have in place to encourage others to keep the grass out of the streets and out of our stormwater systems. The second thing is a request. I would just prefer if we have appointments brought out separately rather than the consent agenda. Folks who are willing to volunteer, it's important that we say who they are and offer up, some appreciation and that sort of thing. And we passed through our consent agenda pretty quickly tonight, so that's just a preference. So I would consider that. And the last thing that I would mention is with regard to the Mr. Martin's dog and cat episode. I would just like to suggest this. I think his concern is valid, and I'm glad to see that it goes to the General District Court, where our court system can deal with issues that are relative. Those are both misdemeanors, but it sounds like they might have been treated like they were cross-warrants civilly or something. So I'm not sure exactly how all that played out. However, my suggestion is this. I would really like the mayor and town manager and or chief back there, or some combination of you, to perhaps meet with Sheriff Dowdy, because the animal control function is within the sheriff's office, and talk with them about our ordinances, and specifically our ordinances in section 50, 191, 192, 194, and the county's ordinances. I looked them up today after we got Mr. Martin's concern. 9504, 9523, 9529, and the enforcement provision of 9520, and see if we could work cooperatively with our county to tackle this issue. That is certainly not to in any way degrade what anybody's doing or side with anybody here, but we do have ordinances here that deal with dogs that are loose and cats that are under control with shots and license, and we need to enforce our ordinances, or on books, one or the other. But we have identified the Animal Control Office as our primary enforcement officer in this, and we need to do something about it, I think. Also, I just wanted to point out that 9520, this is a county ordinance that we defer to, indicates too that any law enforcement officer can enforce this ordinance. Now, in our county, I believe, and that's why we need to talk to our sheriff, that he has funneled that function, and maybe Chief, you know that, into the animal control department, and he has them doing that. But I just think we need to look at it and deal with it, and quit talking about it. I'm done. Thank you.
All right, I just want to step off on two of the items that Celia had brought up. Grass cutting, with regards to ordinance, what would you recommend, and I guess from I see that too. I walked across the street for the Baptist church and they had picked up. But the post office, I've noticed they screwed around and do we report that? And if so, who do we report it to? Yeah, but I don't know what we want the citizens knocking on people's doors saying, hey, you're violating. If we have an ordinance that carries a penalty with it, how do we funnel that into the system and to whom in order to enforce it? Otherwise, everybody's sitting here going, well, yeah.
Is that a rhetorical question?
Yeah, no, it's a question. Who do I turn to and pick up the phone and say, code official? Okay, that's what I'm looking for.
And how are we going to communicate direct to residents?
Gosh, it seems like we had a good bit of information in newsletters and things like that. So notwithstanding Diane's recommendation about that people don't really read it or get it, or they keep doing it. Or maybe some of the contractors who are doing grass cutting do it, I'm not sure.
Well, that's typically what the case is. These people are hustling through their list of people that they're cutting grass for and picking up grass.
It's much quicker to throw one of those strap on blowers on their back
Right.
and blow it wherever, on the sidewalks and whatever it is to sweep out.
Okay, I got my answer, code official. The other item, wanted to thank Terry Stroud for all the work on the historic district review board. Really appreciate what you've done there, and I welcome Diane Amico coming over from Planning Commission, taking a spot there, as well as Ed Wells, who's here as well to step up and volunteer for that. So really appreciate supplementing that board as needed.
Well, it's good that Cat's kind of dominated tonight's meeting, so it seems that landscaping has. And does everyone that cuts grass in town have a town license? No, they don't.
No, that's my question.
Yeah. And well, how do we enforce it? Let's give it back to enforcement. Our police department's getting a very large chunk of money from the town on the new budget. And if they could just ask the people who are cutting the grass, do you have a business license? I think the majority don't. That's all. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Brennan?
Yeah, I just wanted to agree with Councilman Burgess. Comments on the cats, I agree fully. There was an error in one of the letters that was read that stated Ms. Mayor is a citizen of Cape Charles. I don't believe that's true any longer. And I do want to urge our I&I efforts forward, as we had a 2.5 million gallon delta reported for the latest reporting month, water versus wastewater.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Brennan. Councilwoman Howard?
More on grass. I agree that we put in the Gazette, but people don't read the Gazette. I'm sorry, I know we continuously say that's the answer. I think it needs to go on the water bill, and I think it needs to be on the Facebook page and utilized in that way. And I agree with Councilman Bannon about the business license, because I think the businesses then need to receive what the ordinance is as well in doing that. Hopefully you guys have had an opportunity to see the new benches and planters in Strawberry Street Plaza. We'll start some of the beautification there. Some of those benches won't remain there, they're just in a holding spot, as well as the planters, but should see those finalized in this next week. So I've had a group of volunteers put those together, which was really nice. This is one of them, all men with girls. Lamp posts are supposed to arrive this week. I hope that that is still true. Haven't gotten any update differently. We've been anxiously waiting, have the banners, and we're ready and poised to put those in. So I'm hoping that that's the case, and I'd like to honor some of our citizens that took those pictures, so if we can have a heads up of when that's going to be. We want to have a little hanging up ceremony and get pictures and just
Hang citizens?
Yes, hang those citizens by those lamp posts. That's right. That's exactly it. Hopefully you've seen that some of those new businesses in town. We have a little bit of musical business chairs going on as far as people moving. I would encourage all of our council members, mayor, to stop in and welcome the new businesses to town.
It goes a long way in doing that. I want to agree with you on the language. I happen to have a bird's eye view of an ear from the gazebo, as well as the kids' park. And if I can hear it all the way across the park, the language was so bad last weekend that I couldn't stand gardening anymore in the back. And it takes a lot for me to give up on that. I don't have many hours to do it. So I don't know what to do, and maybe other citizens don't know what to do. Should I call the police at that point if that's what's happening? Because you need to catch it in the moment. You know, I sometimes feel silly about doing it about something like that, but if that's what we should do, then I encourage other residents to do that as well, because then maybe we can get it under control. Our gazebo is being abused terribly at the same time, not only with language, but physically. You all will hear from me soon as a report from Work with Zach and actually some of these lovely folks sitting in the back, Diane and LD, on wayfinding. And we don't technically have to have approval through the council, but I really would like for you all to see and give input on the extensive work that we've done before we get to the point where we're bidding that out. So you'll be getting some of that from us very soon, so keep an eye out for it. Larry and Zach and the staff has just been wonderful in helping us along, and we'll be trading it off back to staff here shortly, officially. And the only last thing I have is, it'll surprise everyone that I'm bringing up the word bathrooms, I'm sure. I just wanted us to look at if we have any budget money available before July 1st to see if we can open the library bathrooms early. So I just put in that plug. I don't know what needs to happen to make that happen, but that's my plug for today. Thank you.
I'm just, the harbor, I mean, where are we with the repairs of the docks? And the report seems to be kind of a mimic of the prior month. So I'm trying to figure out where we are on that, since the budget season's going to happen relatively soon.
I will ask for a specific update on every project. Project start, and then you'll necessarily finish in a timely manner. That's what we had.
I'm just curious, because it's going to get crowded over there relatively quick.
And still work needs to be done on the harbor master building itself.
Are they doing it all themselves now?
They are.
All right, so they otherwise don't have like hiring a certified contractor?
It's a late year.
All right. Did they put anything in for next year for that kind of stuff?
I'm sure they do.
All right. All right, thanks, that's all I got.
I got a couple things I want to touch base on. First, I'm going to say I agree with Councilwoman Burge that I would like for any appointments to be removed from the consent agenda to a different agenda. I thought it when I was reading it, I would like to recognize and Mr. Earp, thank you very much for your time serving on the historic board, and welcome to the new members. I'd like to say, right off the top of my head, I want to thank the police department for setting up the space in the park. It looks really well. So thank you guys for all that you do. I want to thank Public Works and some people from I grew up with that actually come into town today, and they couldn't say how beautiful our town was enough. And so hats off to everybody that keeps the town clean. So thank you very much. Now, cats, dogs, animals, whatever. I'm a pretty. It takes me a while to get to a point. I'm to the point. We are going to. If it's on the books, we're going to go after it. And I'm telling the residents right now, and I'm going to listen to public comments. If your dog or cat is not licensed, it won't be here. Get a tag on it. Go to the county, make sure it's got its shots. We're going to have a sweep. We're going to have a type of stuff on it. And I'm over downers. I'm over all of them. With that being said, leash law. The state code references, the state code actually references that all animals, all pets must be licensed, and through us, it's through the county. Leash law, ours is either or. The state code says it can be either or. Ours is should be under the owner's control, but obviously we find out today that what does owner's control mean? I would like this council to actually sit down and make it a leash law. No longer, that's cats, dogs, everything, your animal has to be under the control of the owner. With that being said, grass cutting, I think it needs to be brought out in a nice way, so that we are going to start enforcing this, whether it's on, water bills is probably the best place to get that out. If it's on our code, and I've said this since I was running for election, if it's on our code, we either need to enforce it, or we need to take it off. And that's up to you guys to do it, it needs to be brought here. Contractors, I've said this in the past too, get stickers. Make every vehicle contractor they've got in here have a King Charles sticker on the side of it that says 2019. If it don't have a sticker, report it to the police department, let the police department or a code official go shut them down. That's it. They ain't got a sticker on their truck, get them going. Go get your license. They'll be more than glad to hand you a sticker, or 2 stickers, or 3 stickers. If you've got 4 vehicles, slap it on the side of your truck. They got a sticker and they're doing work in Cape Charles. I think that's all I've got to say. Council President, I did want to thank you for all your work you have to do on what you presented tonight. I know you put in a lot of hours, so thank you very much.
More to come.
It's just starting.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything else. That being said, announcements. Town office is closed in observance of Memorial Day on May the 27th. June the 6th, Town Council budget public hearing and special meeting, 6:30 p.m. at the Civic Center. June the 20th, Town Council regular meeting, 6:30 p.m. at the Cape Charles Fire Department at the Bay, in the Big Bay. And thanks to the fire department to allowing us to have that. Can I get a motion to recess to go into closed session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all very much.